We are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Laters. Bye. Get home safe, guys. Peace. Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our special Behind the Geeks episode for The Testaments. My name is Nate, and if you're joining us for the first time, well, we are Geekcentric, a podcast celebrating the world of movies, TV shows, games, and all things Geekcentric. And today, we're joined by two of the cast members from The Testaments, based on the Margaret Atwood novel of the same name, which is a sequel series to The Handmaid's Tale, and is a dramatic coming-of-age story set in Gilead. A huge thanks to our lovely friends at Disney Studios Canada, Disney Plus Canada, and Hulu for giving us the opportunity to not only watch this series, but then get to talk to the cast. We are always so appreciative of the opportunities to talk to the people behind the stories we love, especially a story like this one with some incredible performances. And speaking of those incredible performances, today we're joined by Rowan Blanchard, who plays Shunammite, and Mattea Conforti, who plays Becka in the series. In this interview, we discuss how they worked with the writers, directors, and showrunners to play these two women who, despite being great friends, each hold very different ideas of what they actually want within the scope of the restrictive world of Gilead. And if you're listening to this and you haven't yet watched The Handmaid's Tale, I would implore you to definitely watch that series, and then definitely watch The Testaments. It's riveting, it's very heavy, but it's also such a rewarding watch when you get to see some of these moments of reclamation. The first 3 episodes of The Testaments will premiere on April 8th on Hulu, on Disney Plus in Canada, with new episodes dropping weekly. If you enjoy these interviews, be sure to check out some of our other interviews, like our most recent interviews with Sam Witwer and Gideon Adlon for Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord, as well as Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which we also have spoiler-free reviews out for those series as well on podcast feeds. You can catch those interviews, those reviews on your podcast service of choice, or you can catch those interviews over on YouTube at youtube.com/geekcentric. Be sure to follow our socials so you can see what we're getting up to on Twitter at GeekcentricYT and on Instagram and TikTok at WeAreGeekcentric. Now, with all that out of the way, please enjoy our interview with Rowan Blanchard and Mattea Conforti. Hey, Rowan and Mattea, how are you both doing today?
Hi, good. How are you?
Listen, I get to talk to you two, so I'm elated.
Thank you.
I mean,
Right
this
back
show.
at you.
Thank you, appreciate that. This show is so excellent. You two are so fantastic in it, and I love how your characters are a great expression of what this show does so well. And it's a word that kept coming to my mind as I was watching this show, which is juxtaposition. Like the tones of the show that it presents, the set design, how beautiful the costumes are, while also knowing what they represent, and then even your characters, right? Like how Shunammite dreams for what Becka considers to be her nightmare. So in the same theme of juxtaposition, I want to start off talking to you about, as someone who lives just north of Toronto, what did you do when you wrapped a really tough scene? What were the Gilead besties getting up to around the GTA? I heard there was some Korean tofu stew involved. Were you going for a Timmy's run? What were you doing around the GTA?
Oh, Timmy's.
We shot actually a lot outside of Toronto. First of all, we didn't really shoot inside Toronto.
No, I'd say the only time was when we were in the studio.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, I think after a lot of those days we were so tired. But on the weekends and stuff we would do fun stuff. I mean,
a lot of going out to restaurants and just hanging out. Even just like, obviously the jobs we had were a little bit taxing. So on the weekends, just hanging out and chilling out at each other's places and watching a movie and
going to Pilates.
Yes, we did go to Pilates.
Going to Pilates.
We were on our Pilates grind.
Yeah.
Matchas, everything.
All that.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's a very necessary thing.
Yes.
Watching some of these performances. I want to get to these performances. Rowan, I love how layered Shunammite is. I
Thank
think
you.
she'll do anything to protect her friends, but then the next day she throws so much shade at all
Yeah.
of them. And it almost feels like if Shu is throwing that shade at you, you've kind of probably made it as one of her best friends. What
Mhm.
was it like? What was it like getting to explore that more biting side of your character?
I mean, it was so fun. I think that's what was exciting for me when I got the sides for my read for them. I just love finding the humor. I love being dry. I love playing things really straight, and so it was really fun to have an opportunity to do that. And also, like you said, to find the moments where Shunammite's loyalty and love for her friends shines through too, because she's not just a shady mean girl, you know. She's definitely that's the surface, but there's a lot more happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that. You can see it in your
Thank
face
you.
and the way that you portray the character. And I,
Yeah.
Mattea, I got some flowers for you. I know Becca is
Oh, thank
she's
you.
she's so quiet. You do such an excellent job of holding rage and sorrow and longing like in your face. And
Kind of
there are
natural.
some scenes, there's some moments this season, specifically one moment in particular that I won't spoil, but it is such a incredible and like horrible moment at the same time, and you made my heart sink into my stomach,
Oh,
so just
Aw.
kudos to
you.
you on that.
I mean, it sounds horrible for me saying thank you, but thank you.
No, but it's true, and this might be difficult to talk about, but I was just curious, like in those moments,
Mm,
how do you get there? How do you get to
yeah.
that place to be able to provide a performance like that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you so much. I had really productive and very intuitive conversations with our showrunner, Bruce Miller, and one of our directors, Mike Barker, when I first walked onto the job about, Becca's emotional trajectory as the season progresses. And there's so much that she's hiding from the beginning of the episode, from episode one, just her own identity that she's struggling with, and immediately coming out of the gate and being hesitant with her ultimate destiny of becoming a wife. There was a lot to kind of step into, but we had a lot of conversations about how to deal with that and how, unfortunately, Gilead makes you suppress all of those internal battles and struggles. So there was a lot of conversations about, that level of suppression, but then eventually it becomes too much and there's no much, you can't suppress anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, there's explosive moments for
Yeah.
sure. I think for both of you, we've only gotten one season of the show so far, but it feels like we're just getting started. Like even by the time I reach that finale, I'm like, okay, I'm in. We're good. Let's go.
Mhm.
Let's see where we get to next. And it feels like these women are just starting to wake up to the horrors that surround them.
Yeah.
Is there something that you will take away for each of you? Is there something that you'll take away from them so far that as a life lesson, is something that you might be able to apply to your everyday life?
Mm. I love the strength that the girls find within each other.
Mm.
And I think in doing so, it allows them to find the strength within themselves. I think there's a lot of power that they find within coming together as a community and as this powerful group of young women, which we see at the end of the season. And, it leaves, for me at least, this lasting message of maybe there's hope for them. And it's kind of like this sense of relief that the audience can feel that maybe things will get better for them.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. I think the show and shooting it with the girls and also just what happens on screen was a great reminder of just how important friendship is,
Mm.
and the relationships you build with other women are really like the thing that will support you in life and acts as a lifeline.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that. I think it's one of those things too where like I also loved seeing your characters communicate without saying words. Like
Yeah.
it's you can tell that friendship and that bond is truly there, and they're working through it the way that they can. You kind of already answered this question, but maybe just from a different perspective, is there anything you're hoping fans will take away ultimately from this
Mm.
season? You mentioned that message of hope, and I think this show provides a similar message to The Handmaid's Tale, but obviously from a new perspective, from a different perspective. Is there anything specific that you're hoping for fans to sort of really get out of watching The Testaments?
I hope that our characters, can feel as personable and magnetic as as much as people connected to the characters of The Handmaid's Tale. And I hope that, people are able to draw their own conclusions
Yeah.
and like have their own identifications and see the love and work that we put into it. And I hope also that, they can feel, like I said, connected to characters and connected to
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel that way for sure.
Mhm.
One season in and I'm already just like, yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next. And
Thank
again, you, you
you
both do
so
such a
much.
phenomenal job. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for taking the time to
Thank you
chat
so
with me and answer these
much.
questions. You have a great day, okay?
You
You
too.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.